Ready? Hello everybody.
Hiya.
Guess where we are? Where are we?
RHS Wisley.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful garden centres. They're mahoosive, so I think today we might be walking quite a distance. And we've brought our art kit, haven't we? But whether we use it or not, not sure, because there's quite a bit to do, quite a bit to see. And it's the first time Denise has been to visit.
Never been here.
Yeah, but we thought you might like to see it because we're hoping that for this visit we're going to be seeing lots and lots of daffodils, bulbs, lovely
Spring.
flowers.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And when we woke up this morning, we had beautiful blue skies.
Oh,
Look at it
yes.
now.
There's the sun up there somewhere behind all of that lot.
Don't you get fed up with the great old British weather, don't you just?
How many times have we brush dipped in the cold? More than I care to say.
Yeah, that's very true actually. Mind you, nothing beats the Norwich episode. Have you seen the Norwich episode? I went up to see Denise and we sat and painted in 5 degrees.
Yes, it was chilly.
Hats, coats, gloves, scarves, boots, the whole shooting match. And
Indeed.
it really was cold. It really was cold. So not too bad today. I think we're around about 10 degrees or something.
Yeah,
So that's not
we'll
too
manage.
So we'll manage indeed. We're hoping to go and have a look at the big rockery. They were in the middle of doing a bit of revamping of that last summer when I came to visit. So let's go and have a little look, see how that is. And do you know my favourite place here?
No, I don't.
I absolutely adore the Alpine houses.
Okay. Well, we'll have
So
to go and have a look at
I
them.
don't know what will be out there, but we'll go and have a little look, shall we?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So follow the travelling brush dippers and come and see Wisley with us. We'd be
Cheers.
thrilled to have you along with us. So here we go, Denise. This is the house. Now, originally, they used the house for the science of the plants and the kind of experimentation and the work they did here with plants and genes and what have you. Nowadays, that's moved up to the science block on the hill, and now the house is being renovated and they're doing it up. I'm waiting with bated breath to see what they should do with it eventually.
Is it Jacobean?
Very good question. Sorry, I've just got a bug crawling all over me. I'm just getting rid of the bug.
Wildlife?
Excuse me. Sorry about that, everybody.
We can find out. I'm sure we can find out.
Yes, I don't know where it dates back to. We can go and have a look because there's bound to be. I can see a plaque on the door over there.
Yes, we'll find out.
But look at the lovely reflections. Isn't that beautiful?
Stunning.
So here we have the water, and we're looking at looking at the fountains, and then we've got this lovely covered walk up here. So we're going to go and have a little look at that in a minute.
Yeah.
Here, look at these, Denise.
Wow, what are they?
These
They're
great big
sturdy.
kind of towers of black
There's
nonsense.
little bits of straw sticking out of there.
These are the tree ferns. So of course, given the winter that
Oh.
we've just had, with -5 for days on end, there's no way these would have survived. They would have all been burnt and singed. So as you can see here, there's straw peeking out from inside the black covering.
Fantastic.
They're covered in straw and then they're wrapped up. And as a consequence, that protects them for the winter, hopefully. So, if we look behind us and we hold the camera up like this, not only is it good for our chins. Yes, give me a face. Give me a facelift. Not only is it good for the face.
Suck it in.
Who needs to be Madonna? just look up here. Look.
No duff chins here at all.
So you're looking here at the new science centre. Crammed full of interest. They bring a lot of children here for classes and study.
Yeah.
But this is where all the real work is done with regards to your plants. The gardens around it are gorgeous, and there's a terrace. Can you see the terrace up on the top there?
We'll have a look in a minute.
We're going to go up there and have a little look. So come and join us. So here we are, Denise. We're right up on the sky terrace of the science block. Nice cafe up here, so there's plenty of places to eat if you want to come and visit. And we're at the moment we're looking at the allotment gardens. So you can imagine, you know, if you have a greenhouse and they're trialling all the different things that you could grow yourself. But tell us a bit more about Wisley, Denise. How big is it?
I've just had a look because I didn't know, but it is 97 hectares, which is 240 acres. So it's quite a lot of it. And in order to manage that, they have 75 garden staff, 25 students, 4 apprentices, and 100 volunteers.
Volunteers?
Yes.
So presumably they're the people who are helping with guests like us and in the car parks, maybe even gardeners.
I would imagine some are doing some gardening as well.
Maybe even gardeners. So if we go a little bit closer, you can see here that we've got a lovely terrace where you can sit and have coffee and tea. On a nice day, that'd be beautiful, wouldn't it, to sit there and just look out. And you can see from the gardens that these gardens are relatively new. They're not really very established yet, but they will be. Give them time.
And it's early in the season.
And it's early in the season. But if you look over here, you can see the car park. We had a heck of a job getting in today. We were here for opening, and we really did struggle for a space.
I think there was 2 people managed to get parked after us.
After us, yeah. They were talking at the tills about opening up the far end car park, which is used just for overflow, but the problem is then you really do have a walk up to here. But there you go, that's just a taster.
Now it's a bit noisy here, Sharon, but what have we just found?
We've just found the orchid exhibition and it's absolutely, I'm drooling, look.
You're just dribbling, so let's go and have a look. Let's go and have a look.
Yes, please.
So we're just looking at this display and it is astonishing.
I can't actually add anything to your video because my words have abandoned me.
She's just standing here dribbling, drooling.
I love them all. I just love the patterns. And nature is incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Something you can't describe is the scent.
Yes, the minute we walked in here, the perfume was there, wasn't it? In the
Yeah.
air.
It's beautiful sculpture pods, and inside them there's all sorts of stuff, so I'm going to find out what that's all about.
It's all for buglets.
Buglets,
All to attract the bugs and the insects.
which also in turn helps the garden.
Of course it does, because if we didn't have them, we wouldn't have us, would we really?
No.
So it's not just our lovely sculpture here. Denise has just noticed that there was wool in there, didn't you, for birds
Yes.
nesting?
Yeah.
But if you look here in the distance, we've got a tree that's just been left so that the insects can bore into it, woodpeckers can have a go at it. And then further over here, we have another tree where they've just cut into the top of it again so that our insects can get in there and bore in. And when we look over the grounds over here, we've got log piles.
Don't talk to my husband about log piles.
Why?
I've got a million log piles in my garden. He's a bit obsessed with log piles.
What, he likes the log piles or not?
He makes log piles everywhere.
Oh, jolly good. Well, good for the
Very
bugs.
useful,
Good for
very
the bugs.
useful.
And of course, on a pond like this, these are the new ponds, barely established, to be honest, yet. You know, you're going to have lots of larvae and things sort of coming out of the ponds, aren't you, nymphs and what have you? And they're all looking for homes, aren't they?
Yeah. If you want to see us, I can jump in front of it.
Outtake. We're looking here at all the orchards. There are acres and acres of fruit trees that they've planted. I mean, they go right back behind this greenhouse, you can see. And they've planted all these different varieties just to see how they cope, which ones are hardy, which ones crop well. So taking a closer look at these trees here, these are medlars.
Exactly the one in the front, isn't it?
Yes, and we're just saying to each other that medlars are a really old English variety of fruiting tree, and there's very strange because they're better when the fruit has been frosted and it makes it go mushy, and so then you can just squeeze it and ooze the fruit out and eat it. It sounds disgusting.
But it makes a fabulous jam.
Does it?
Yeah.
I've heard of medlar jam.
Right.
Let me show you this, Denise. Can you see this amazing sort of limestone pavement effect here?
Yes. Like slabs, aren't they?
Yes. I came last year and was so in love with this. And in the summer, of course, it's just a haze of colour because everything's flowering and blossoming and tumbling over the rocks. And I looked at that, and then I looked at this behind us. Let's turn around. So if we look at this,
the slates,
I fell
the
in
tiles.
love with this. Now,
Yeah.
we'd had some work done in the garden last summer, and I had a lot of tiles like this, and I had paving slabs. And I thought to myself, I know what I'm going to do, and I went for it. And we'll put a picture up here so that you can have a look. But I recreated this kind of effect.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Came here because they've got a beautiful great big garden centre here, and bought a lot of plants, little miniature plants, and it did very, very well last summer. And of course these plants will all tolerate amazing drought.
Yes.
But what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the greenhouse next door. So here it is, look. And we're going to go in there and have a look at all the amazing alpines. They're beautiful. Well, I think everybody knows my strange proclivity for my weirdos, the plants that I like so much. This is my favourite place here at Wisley, and I adore all the miniature, incy-wincy, teeny little beautiful bits of stuff. I don't know any other way to describe what I mean. I love these little tiny plants. And each and every one in its own way. Look at this with its own little rocks here by
So
it. Look.
beautiful.
And they're exquisite, aren't they? And of course some of these smell divine. Absolutely beautiful. But there's a whole shelf of them all the way down both sides of the greenhouse. And look at all the different colours. And we've just read that the gardening team for this greenhouse have the most delectable job every morning of going around the gardens and choosing the plants that get the job of being showcased in the greenhouse in this particular alpine house every day. How about that? Would you like that job?
I'd love
that job.
Yes, absolutely.
What's this then, Denise?
Well, the label says it's Strachiourus precox.
I say. I
don't know if that's how you're supposed to pronounce
Mrs.
it.
So what are they? They're flowers, aren't they?
Aren't they beautiful?
First look, you think they're berries, but they're not. They're little flowers. Do they smell? Can you get your nose in
Can I
there?
have a sniff? No.
No, it's not smelly.
Don't tell anyone I put that on the
Very pretty.
garden. Nice.
Well, I think several hundred, if not 1,000 people have just seen you put your foot on the garden. Are we ready?
We are.
Are we ready?
So shall we say first what we're doing?
Hello everybody. We're having our Kuretake hour. So what's Kuretake? These beautiful, beautiful paints here. These lovely paints. They're Japanese and they're called Gansai Tambi, and they come in these delightful pans.
They're big pans, aren't they? Bigger than you're used to.
Well, these are the traditional Japanese pans. That's what Gansai means.
Okay.
It's the pan, and each one is individual. They all come out, so you could do a 52 card pickup with this. Just throw it all over the floor. So that would be totally exciting.
That would be wrong.
And they're really rather lovely. Quite unctuous paints, so you'll find that they are soapy and they're rich and they're thick. And when you first go in there, you'd think to yourself that maybe you were working with gouache, but it isn't.
Okay.
Right.
Looking forward to this.
Proper traditional watercolour, and they're beautiful. And they've got a lovely box. Let me show you the box. Look, come in this lovely traditional box.
Oh, how lovely.
And inside the cover, you've got this super duper colour chart, so you can make out put your own colours in there. They're all numbered and labelled, so just paint your colours in. And then they come with this little holder, but of course that is just as good to use as a palette, isn't it?
Perfect.
Why not?
Perfect. And what are we going to paint?
We're going to have a go at some orchids, because as you may or may not know, depending on the order in which we do these particular episodes,
Who knows? We don't.
we have been to Wisley, to RHS Wisley, and they had the most incredible orchid show, didn't they?
It was beautiful.
All the creme de la creme of the orchid growers, and wonderful, wonderful plants, which we looked at, didn't we? Because we thought, oh, we really covet those. We'd love an orchid, didn't we?
Yeah.
And
then we saw the price.
Yes, £100. Can you imagine one plant bringing that home and it starts to go like this? They so often do.
I think I'd start to go like that as well if it did.
For that kind of money, you wouldn't want to kill that, would you?
No, they're very specialist,
No.
so they're not for your average growers.
No,
Lots of them. But they had some, more ordinary, user-friendly ones.
The
yeah.
phalliops and those.
Yeah.
Yes. Therefore, we're going to have a little play and draw some orchids, and we're going to use black watercolour paper. This is the Sharon Hurst Super Duper watercolour palette.
Linked, that will be in the show notes.
Yes, we will. Yes, yes. And we're using these colours because, although I said to you they are traditional watercolours, with this you do have the colours that are more opaque. So we have the white, we have creams, two-colour cream
Metallics.
here. Metallics even.
Beautiful metallics.
So the particular picture Denise has chosen has got some gold in it, hasn't it? The plant actually looks gold.
I think it's yellow, but I'm painting it gold.
Why not? Why not? Let's see what we can do with it. Now
See how we get on.
You're going to draw, are you?
I'm just going to do a little draw. Not a lot of draw, just a little draw. Is that
I've got
all
a
right?
sneaky suspicion I'm going to go straight in.
Go for it.
Hell for leather.
You hell for leather. I'm going to position more than.
Who knows? But the shape of them was just incredible, wasn't it? Some of them. We were well impressed. So I'm going to go straight in with some cream and some white. And we've chosen these colours because they really do work well on the black paper, as you can see here. Look, when they come in.
Straight away.
Whack.
Fabulous.
Good, solid colour.
So this is like a bonnet.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. But orchids are incredible things. They mimic everything. There's a bee orchid, isn't there? Looks like a bee. And there's one that has a monkey's face, doesn't it? We saw that one yesterday, didn't we?
Yes. And there's rude ones.
Rude ones, yes. I think they're amazing things. Pollinated by insects and moths and all sorts, aren't they?
Some of them were beetle specialists and all sorts. Yeah, definitely.
Plant being a beetle specialist, how about that?
This has got...
So I'm just going in to see if I can thicken the colour by going in and picking up more colour. And yes, I can. So that's interesting. And I want to use this beautiful pink here. It's not quite potter's pink, but almost. Let's have a look at this.
You nearly found your potter's pink and potter's blue again, didn't you, with these?
Oh, I know. I love those colours, you know. They make the most soft, gentle, beautiful greys. And they granulate, they're opaque, so all the things that a lot of people are afraid of, you can utilise it for yourself and think about a different way to paint, you know.
Can I layer with these the same as I would otherwise?
Not as well. No, that's a very good point.
So if I want to put my dark on top, will that be all right?
Yes,
That'll
yes.
be all right.
But you'll find that you can't glaze in the same way that you can with
so
traditional watercolours.
Can I just make sure I get it right?
Indeed.
First time?
Yes. Which is easier said than done, isn't it?
Because orchids are so easy to paint. Not. I'm doing a mixture of yellow, gold and cream on my top petal.
I'm trying to mix my colours on the paper.
Okay.
To see if I can get away with it. So this is experiment time, isn't it, really?
Well, that's when you should do experiments.
So yes, you see I can, look, I'm coming in
Yes.
and I'm putting the colour in on top and blending it into what the existing colour. So that works. Now I want another coat on top of my cream, so I need to see if I can get away with that too.
Yeah.
And I can. So this is, in some respects, if we're painting this thickly with it, it's almost like painting with poster colour at this stage.
Yeah.
With what I'm
but
doing.
But it's blending like watercolour, which is
yes,
beautiful.
And you can paint thinly and sort of transparently with it.
Which with the black paper, it gives you your shading, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, so that's all right. Now, this to be a little bit more orangey. Oh, these are nice on black. Look,
they're beautiful on black, aren't they?
Really like that.
I'm going to do the opposite petal that's the same colour whilst I've been working with those colours, so I can do the same thing. So I'm starting with a bit of the gold. They are quite sticky, aren't they? Like you say,
yes.
They're different to work.
Well, you know the way that the St. Petersburg paints are gooey because they're mixed with honey?
Yes.
Well, these are too, but it's not honey that they use for the bindings. And they're a little bit non-committal on what goes into them. When you read the kind of recipe for these,
the literature.
Yes, they give you the options that they use for all the different kinds of binder, but don't actually specifically say which one.
Right.
So I think that's the secret kind of Coca-Cola recipe, you know.
Yeah, they don't want to tell you. Which is fine if you've got a product that is unique
and you're proud of. Yes.
You want to keep it that way, don't you?
Yes, I think so.
Now I use this pearl up here a little bit, and that's given a lovely little shimmer.
Oh, isn't that lovely? Yes. Can you see that, everybody?
Just here you get this little shimmer.
Yeah. And you've used the gold down the side here, haven't you? Yeah.
I'm a sucker for bling.
Yes.
Please do excuse the noise. We've got builders in the background. It's not us, honestly.
No. No, they're doing my kitchen, so by the end of the week we should have something to cook on.
We've managed.
Yeah, we've been sending Nick out on the barbecue, haven't we?
Yeah, it's good last night. Thankfully it didn't rain for too long.
All adds to life's rich pattern, doesn't it?
Yes. So I've got those two in, but I need to put the dark stripes into them, but I'm going to let those dry. And then I'll come back in. So I've got these lovely long twists.
They're beautiful, aren't they?
I think that's where I'm going next. Again, I'm going to start with the gold and yellow. And they're in sort of sections, so I'm going to do one bit at a time just because it makes it easier to see what I'm doing.
Yeah. Tricky orchids, because from what the professionals were saying yesterday, you know, obviously, as with most plants, you've got to replicate their conditions from where they live, and some of them need heat and moisture, so I presume that would be good for a bathroom, wouldn't it?
Yes.
And then others are drier. Some of them come from night times, really cold climes, don't they? I mean,
some of the high altitude ones.
Yeah. He was talking about some that come from the Andes and what have you. It's going to be a bit coldies, isn't it?
Yeah, and they don't like it if the house is too hot, so they suffer if they're in a centrally heated house.
Yes, those that come from great heights. We tend to forget that, don't we? That
Yeah.
of course
I don't think there were any that were like frost hardy.
No.
But there were ones that don't like it warm.
Yeah.
It's quite a trick to get in between the two.
I've discovered that orchids are something that I can indeed grow here at home. But they do like a northern window. They like being, because they don't tend to like sunshine on them directly. They like the light, but not actually, you know.
Bright sunshine.
Yeah.
A bit like a watercolour painting.
Yes. Yes. So you're going for the pearly one. I have found that using the pearls and the golds, it's better to activate them first with a bit of a water spritz.
Okay.
Because they take quite a bit of scrubbing to get them to release when you first go in.
You know I'm a very good scrubber.
Oh dear, whatever next. Things you learn here on the Travelling Brush Dippers. Oh gosh. Yeah, so the pearlescents are pretty, aren't they?
They are, aren't they just?
Mm.
Do you like a bit of bling?
Now, something else I've just discovered here, if you do need to let them dry well, because they will bleed.
Yeah.
If they're even just a little bit damp, they obviously like to run into each other. So that's something that's we've got to take on board.
Worth bearing in mind, certainly.
We could just be sitting here talking to ourselves, you know that, don't you?
I think at the minute, darling, we are just
We're
talking to
are.
ourselves. Hopefully you're out there in interweb world.
Mine's got little frilly edges.
It's that randomness that's quite hard to get, isn't it?
Yes. Because there's something about painting that you want to get a pattern going, isn't there?
Yeah. Oh, I'm quite pleased with the twist I've got on this.
Yes, that's lovely, isn't it?
I need to put my spots in, but again, I think I need to let that dry before I put the textures in there. So, shall I put a sweep on my pink? Let's do some pink. Oh, lush.
Scrummy. See, it's layering up. It's an interesting technique, isn't it? Because you can work into it, can't you?
And you can allow some of that black paper to still show through in places. And I guess you could probably lift a little bit to a certain extent, like you can always.
Oh yes, it doesn't stain.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting you saying that, well said, because unlike some of the watercolours we know and love that stain like bilio, for instance, talking about Prussian blue, this doesn't do it.
Talking of, there's a baby blue, there's a bit of reflected light on my, it's kind of shiny and it's got this sort of sky blue little patch to it. I think that's quite interesting.
Getting the other colours in, yes.
Yeah.
I'm working up some of my darker areas with a very unlikely colour, yellow ochre, this yellow ochre colour.
You don't like yellow ochre?
No, it's giving me quite a decent shade.
Okay. Shouldn't have had those beans for tea.
No. It's that curry. Dear, oh dear. It's all very serious out there, isn't it?
I know.
So you need quite a bit more water with it, don't you?
Yes.
Actually, to manipulate the paint. Interestingly enough.
And I want loads more colour in that pink. But I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to come up and do this one up here. So I'll start again with my gold. I quite like starting with the gold.
Yeah, quite good to overwork it, actually. You know, I don't mean overworking
Overlay.
yeah. To work over it rather than, yeah.
Get your worms right.
Oh no. The problem is, you see, the brush is doing one thing, the hand's doing that, the mouth's doing something else, and the brain's thinking ahead, and they don't always work together, sadly.
Well, that's a different... Oh, that's the vacuum cleaner going now.
I was very pleased to see they came in with a hoover.
That's good.
Does it blend? Yes, it does. You have to push it around a bit to get it to blend.
Yes.
Actually, it is like working with gouache when you're working this thickly.
I suppose so, yeah. But it still has a transparency to it, so
Yeah.
it's a really dainty, delicate.
Yeah. They're strange looking critters, aren't they?
Aren't they just?
Really weird. Lots of them pollinated by moths, aren't they? I've got one in the lounge that is perfumed at night, so...
Oh, okay. Look how beautifully that...
Oh,
I don't know if
yes, isn't that
burnt
scrumptious?
sienna, how that stands out on that black paper. Put some burgundy in with that as well.
Yeah, when I first started with it, I discovered that I had to play with them on different papers because some of them on the black are stunning.
Yeah.
Some don't show at all.
Yep.
And then the same applies on white paper even. This colour here, this beautiful kind of...
Emerald?
oh, I don't know, what would you call that? Let's show the camera. This colour here is just beautiful.
On white?
On both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And one peculiar characteristic, if you use the whites and the creams and these more opaque colours with plenty of water, the water tends to push the colour to the outer edges and you land up with almost a halo on the edges of your petals or... yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going back in now. I'm going back up to
Right.
my first petal and just
Okay.
putting another layer of bits on. So I've gone round once. Having a bit more yellow to it this time, making it a bit more golden. I think this one.
And it takes it quite well, doesn't it, when you put
Yeah,
extra on?
yeah, it does. I think a very pale cream. You've got this.
Yeah, it's nice to have the options to have those the paler, more opaque colours actually.
It's unusual in watercolours to have
Yes.
that ability to come back in and lighten something. But again, this is working on the black paper. It's ideal.
I'm guessing if you can't get enough depth of colour, I went into mine first with the white and then started layering my colours on top.
Yes.
As you would do with watercolour, with pencils.
Yes.
And that seems to work quite well.
Cards full.
I'm finding it takes quite a while to dry.
Yes.
I'm not able to kind of whiz on with it
as you would on watercolour. Yeah. Yes, maybe it's just that slightly thicker texture of the paint is
down to the binder again, won't it? Presumably.
Yes. Now for me, I want to make this slightly redder than pink, because looking at it, I think with the black paper and the pink, it's making it a very soft pink.
You're
So
I need to pull one of these in, aren't you?
I need to make it a little.
Find the right colour red to help it along. Yeah.
Hopefully lift it a little bit. And I think if I can do that with some of maybe that cream, that will give me the pink.
The pink, yeah. Yeah. Centre of yours is quite complicated, isn't it? That,
tell me about it.
Because you really do have that blue in there, don't you?
Yeah,
and a cream and a yellow. And there's a splash of green in there in that.
Oh,
top.
shush!
Right,
don't look.
Shut
Not
up.
in the one I'm painting. There isn't.
No.
It's in the other one.
Don't say anything.
Don't say it out loud.
Don't mention it.
And then I'll have to do it if you mention it.
Don't mention it.
So I need a bit more of the reddy colour.
Now I'm going to go in with this horrifying green.
Beautiful green.
Scary, scary green. And that carries the leaf. Comes round like that. Concentration, you can cut it with a knife. I'm going to do all of that in that colour to start with. And then I'll go in and interfere with it in a minute.
Ooh. And so that word is a really good word for these paints, because particularly the ones with the shimmer, it's almost like an interference medium, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. Yes. Now, I've got all sorts of nonsense going on here. Help. Help.
Who doesn't love a bit of nonsense?
I need this beautiful magenta colour, and I'm going to whiz down this edge with it. And then in some places, a bit more.
We do very well at roundabouts at dawn. We're not actually. I'm surprised I haven't knocked the brush out of your hand yet. It's the sort of thing I would do, you know.
We're doing all right, aren't we? We're doing all right. Yeah, because it's pretty intimate here, isn't it?
We're quite close quarters.
I couldn't push my chair back. If I tried, I'd land up through the wall, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
So we've got all these tiny, I might need a smaller brush for that.
Know one another pretty well by now.
Absolutely. We're doing all right because we haven't killed each other yet, have we?
Not once.
So it's all right. Oh, I'm liking these for this job, you know.
Yeah, no, they're beautiful for it.
I wonder how that magenta's going to work on the white colour, on the cream. See what we can do with it.
Yes.
Because in actual fact, oh, that's even better. That's more like it. This dark.
Oh, that's a burgundy purple jobby.
This is the colour I need for...
I think I need a very similar colour for my stripes when I get to them.
Oh,
I think I'm going to do a bit of this one.
look.
Perfect.
Oh, yummy.
So we've got these little stripes and dots that run all the way up these little bits.
Oh, this is the fun bit. That is the colour.
Thank you for doing that research for me, so when I come to doing mine I don't have to do that. There's some lovely cuddles.
Not enough. Just trying to get the density of colour right now, that it shows up, but not too much, you know.
Yes.
I want subtle veins now.
I'm not sure I'm very good at subtle. I'm betterer at slap it in your face.
Well, having said that, orchids are a bit slap it in your face, aren't they?
Yeah,
really?
I guess so. They're not subtle
Cool,
flowers, are they? But just some of them are so dainty and small. You kind of
Oh, the teeny ones.
yeah, but masses of them.
Yeah.
Absolutely masses of little tiny weeny flowers.
Great bracts of.
Well, that's a good word.
interesting,
I
you
do
know.
love a bract.
Mm.
That's a very good word.
Good Lord, I can remember one day many years ago, student in class, and I was walking past her desk as I was teaching, and she was just about to do something absolutely catastrophic, and I went to make a grab to stop her, and I hit her water pot, and I put water all over her painting.
Did
I've never forgotten it.
Did it?
I'm not
Did it work?
answering that question because I might put myself in great difficulties. Oh dear. But I've never forgotten it.
No, I bet you haven't.
I don't think she has either.
Doubt it.
Oh. She did come back to class, but oh.
It is yummy colour, isn't it?
Isn't it lovely? And when you're doing something like this that has a pattern that is a bit random, do the bit that you can do. So I've gone in the middle because I could definitely see those three. I knew where I was going with them. And now I've gone to the outer edge because I can see that and understand what I'm doing there. And now if I look between the gap, that refines my kind of search area. So now I can understand what's happening here. So do the bit you can do, just like a jigsaw puzzle. And if I've got to skip one stripe because I don't have room for it, nobody is ever going to know.
Don't tell anybody.
Unless I show them.
No, there's none missing.
Because, well, we've got this horrible habit, haven't we, when we paint something like this and we show someone, of saying, oh, well, yes, I know, but the original didn't have that in. If you look at the photograph,
I missed
shut
this
up.
bit. Yeah, just stop
Just
talking.
don't do it.
Stop talking.
Yes. Stop digging a hole.
Don't tell anybody the bits you don't like. Just tell them all the bits you think are beautiful.
Yes. And hopefully they'll tell you a few that they think are lovely.
Yes.
But we're all kind of little monsters when it comes to our artwork. Have you ever sat with a group of really young children and you've been painting with them? Talking about 5-year-olds,
Yeah.
6-year-olds, and one will say, "Oh, mine's right rubbish," and then the one next to it will say, "Well, mine's rubbisher than yours is," and they're not saying mine's good. That always concerns me, that it has to be rubbish. I don't really understand where that comes from.
I am sorry.
What have you done with my lovely white?
I've just purpled your white. Look, I'm cleaning it up.
Honestly, you can't invite some people anywhere.
Oops.
I'll give you whoops. Mind you, that's not too bad, because I must admit I'm a mucky tart. You can see from these colours where I've been doing that. So let's be honest.
All right.
Fair, decent and honest. But having said that, if you were to take my sets of coloured pencils and you modelled up the colours, I would be screaming from here back to Norwich. I have OCD over my pencils having to be
in the right order.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
And if I consider that the manufacturer sends them to me and they're in the wrong order, I will sort them out.
Yeah.
I'm not having it.
But it's got to be how you want to work with them.
I will not have it. We're funny, aren't we? We've all got our funny little foibles.
Some are foiblier than others.
Yes. Welcome to my world.
Well, you know, my personal motto is never knowingly normal. So.
That's a good one. That's good. Oh, that purple shows up a treat on those, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it, just?
It's actually really starting to look like the real McCoy, which is quite exciting.
Mine's rubbisher than yours. Isn't that what I'm supposed to say?
Horrible child.
So I've put my dark in, and now I'm coming in and I'm kind of putting lights in between the darks, and it's kind of
and is it
tweaking a little bit. Yeah, it is. Like I say, it's building those layers up.
I do like the way it sits on top so very, very smartly.
Yeah.
You know? Very good.
So I've got a question for you all. Now these are Kuretake. Sharon and I are both big fans of Shinhan watercolours. What is your favourite watercolour brand and why? Leave your comments below and let us know. Be interesting to hear what you say.
Because there's all sorts now, isn't there? For heaven's sake, there's so many different brands.
Well, I'm a big fan of the SAA silver and the gold. So, you know, there's just so many different brands, and I like different colours from different brands sometimes as well.
Yes, yeah.
The Shinhan has some beautiful blues, and you know I like my seascapes. And they have sort of the peacock blue and the marine blue, and you know they've got all these beautiful, beautiful blue colours.
Got some unusual colours, haven't they? Because they've got the kind of lavender and the strange colours too. And you might only need them once a year, but you know
you've got to have them.
I must admit I do like some Daniel Smiths as well.
Okay,
not interested in owning the whole set, what have you, but I have to say some of the beautiful colours that the Kuretake colours that do interesting things.
Okay.
That granulate, and some of them they separate. They're really not good friends. They don't like each other, and they're fabulous. My favourite's Cascade Green.
You love that one.
I love the Cascade
use that a lot.
Green. I make the joke that, you know, if Nick hadn't come along, I'd have married Cascade Green. It's scrumptious. But yes, they've all got their different qualities, haven't they?
Yeah. Now, of course, this would have been less in need of the build-up if we'd been using white paper, but it wouldn't be as dramatic.
Yeah.
So it's kind of pros and cons of using different types of paper. I have to say I really enjoy using black watercolour paper. but you do have to choose what you're going to use it for.
Mm-hmm.
Your weirdos are fabulous on the black.
Yes, yeah.
They're really
Yeah,
good.
it works well, doesn't it?
You all know what I mean by Sharon's weirdos, I assume.
It's my strange stuff.
Strange plants.
I like strange and unusual plants, and I collect them. And I like to draw them as well, so not even necessarily draw them as I see them and as they are. I like to invent them as well.
So you start with a shape,
really,
don't you? And
yes.
sometimes and just go off
Yes,
piste.
yeah.
Now, did you try this little one that's next to your burgundy?
No, what's that?
That is an even deeper purple.
Oh gosh, is it?
Yes, so I'm
I see.
dotting and spotting with that. That's that Morse code, isn't it?
Mm. Choices, everybody. So that it bleeds and runs across, and then I need to smarten up this edge where I smudged it, but don't tell anybody. You won't tell anybody that I smudged it, will you? So
It's a quick fist in it.
Yeah.
That's what I
Aren't
like
it?
to do.
Yeah. I
What did you put
faffed
your
when I
fist-
should have fiddled.
What did you put your fist in the other day you were telling us about?
Oh, for goodness sake, I needed.
You were doing something and you came up and she said, I should have... Oh no, it wasn't. It was when I was painting last week and somebody had put their fist in the middle of a sample that they were doing. They said, just don't look at that bit.
Don't. I did that last time I was on television, and I took.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. It was when
yes.
you were on TV.
And
That was it.
I'd been very careful with my the glue pens and drawn out the cat's face.
Yes, and then you put your...
And then when I was drying it to make the embossing powder, I dragged the cable of the hairdryer through all the powder, didn't I? So this cat looked as though somebody had just gone like that.
I knew it was something I'd seen recently.
Oh, Sharon! Oh, it's so annoying when you do things like that.
That's what we got.
So
Show me yours. Let me hold it up. Beautiful. Beautiful. That is beautiful, actually. Really lovely.
So, what do you think then about the Kuretake paints? Is this the first time you've really had a play in
It's
a
the first
use?
time I've ever used them.
Okay.
And I think they take a little getting used to.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're beautiful colours. And I think they're lovely. I just think they're just slightly different because of the texture. It's not the paint. It's not the colour. It's the texture and the binder that is slightly different. And I think that's just going to take a little getting used to. You've got yours bolder than mine.
How many layers do you think you've popped on?
Probably
yours?
only 2 or 3. I think you probably put
Maybe
your
a little
layers on
more.
thicker.
Yes, I did. Yeah, I plastered them on like painting the walls.
Yes, and
So I really did, and that's purely and simply, everybody, because I'm painting on black.
Yeah, and you knew the paints a little better than I did.
Yes, of course. Wouldn't have behaved like that if I'd have been painting with white paper. Let me just show you, whilst I've got you, what you can do with the watercolour if you're using it in a watercolour fashion.
Yeah.
So hold fire. 2 seconds.
I don't know what I'm supposed to hold on to, but I'm holding on. There we go.
So that's painting with them in a watercolour fashion.
That is beautiful because you've got huge depths of colour.
Yes, exactly.
And you've got all the textures from the salt, so it
you
works
see,
well with
salt
that.
works on it. I've found that cling film works on it.
The pull of the pen and the sort of rusty old colours there, that's absolutely beautiful.
So you can work them transparently and thinly.
Yeah.
And they work quite nicely.
And I was thinking with this one, I was just going to say, this was an early piece I did, and that's more transparent. This one I did was the third one I did, and I used more paint.
Yes.
And I think that's worked a little better.
Yes.
So that's just about getting used to it, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It's just getting your hand in, isn't it?
Yeah, but that is stunning. Excellent.
Oh,
that's all been great fun.
So that's Kuretake paint, and it's different.
Yes.
But worth a try, isn't it?
Yeah, oh definitely. I loved it. I think it's beautiful and the colours are stunning.
So give it a go.
So
In the
yeah.
meantime, why don't you
Dip into our conversation.
Lovely.